Huh. Okay then.
This is your final training session. This time we will focus on all aspects of magic and advanced spellcasting techniques. First, let's talk about your altar.
Okay, let's...
This magnificent structure,
It's
as you may
ugly.
have deduced by now, is your altar. Your altar is your most important structure since it provides a link to your patron god. In your case, Persephone.
Those twisty statue heads there, they're taggy. Like, really taggy.
Through this link, Persephone can preserve your spirit. That means you'll never die. If your body is destroyed, you will enter an ethereal state. While in this state, you can still command your creatures, but you can't cast spells or gather souls.
So that's where the clam came from. It was the ruins of an altar.
Would you like to experience the sensation?
I'd
No
rather
sooner
not.
said than done.
Wait, I don't want to...
I love doing that. Now don't be upset. The link to your altar is keeping your soul from leaving this plane of existence. To come back to life, all you need is the proper amount of magical energy.
Oh, thanks. Don't worry about the fact that I just totally gipped you and smashed your remains all over the countryside. I'm just gonna feed some energy into you and that'll make things right as rain.
Magical energy, which we also call your mana, is indicated by the blue bar
Wait,
in the
what?
upper right corner of the screen. Notice that your mana is slowly recharging. As your mana recharges, so too does your health. Your health is indicated by the red bar next to your mana bar. When your current mana level reaches a quarter of your maximum and your health reaches full, you will reincarnate. Overall, your altar is a pretty weak source of mana. If you really want to charge up your mana, you must seek out mana fountains. Still, if you are unable to find other sources of mana, your altar will have to do. The altar sounds like a pretty good deal, eh? Well, all that it provides is not without cost. If an enemy can taint your altar by desecrating it, you're in big trouble. If an enemy is desecrating your altar, you'll see some creatures called sect doctors performing a ritual. Here's one now.
Sect
As the
doctors.
ritual progresses, you will be struck with magical energy. You will lose health, mana, and experience whenever you are struck by this energy. Luckily enough, sect doctors are not very tough, and you can interrupt the desecration by attacking them.
He's
The energies
dancing.
unleashed by the desecration will keep melee attackers at bay. So you will have to disrupt the ritual with ranged attackers or spells. Since you only need to do away with one of them to stop the desecration, a single shot of wrath will do the trick. So remember that although your altar is very powerful, it is also very vulnerable. We'll talk about how you can desecrate an enemy altar in a bit. First, you must learn about mana. Follow me.
Will do. Just dancing across the plains here. Yeah, I kind of have to avoid the big hole in the ground. So, yeah, wait for me, thanks. I guess that big thing is the mana fountain.
This is a mana fountain. Supposedly, back in the elder days when the earth was torn asunder and the floating islands first formed, there was a terrible release of magical energies and blah 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 blah. Ancient history. What matters now is that there are magical geysers like this one all over the place. Whenever you stand near a mana fountain, your own natural mana reserves will replenish. A mana fountain is the best source of mana around and will recharge you much faster than your altar. Anyone standing near a mana fountain, friend or foe, will regain lost mana. To keep the mana to yourself and your creatures, you'll need to summon a magical structure called a manalith. That's right. You put the manalith on the mana fountain.
Well, that's just
To
amazing.
summon a manalith, open your third spell tab and left-click on the manalith spell. Your cursor will now change into a targeting cursor. Highlight the stump of the mana fountain and left-click to summon a manalith.
Hold on, I think that's the wrong one.
Your target is out of range.
Thud Kinketsu, Nostro, Denorum, Ferox, Kinketsu, Thorn, Iliel, Dothdel, Pejorative, Domine, Kazam, Barata, Mastadok, Denorum.
You are low on mana.
Krixa.
Now that you have a manalith on this mana fountain, only you and your creatures may utilize it. Follow me, and we will continue your lessons.
Okay.
Beware, good mystic, for we do sense the taint of evil on this island. It may be that one of Charnel's necromancers, the vile Syrinx, has come to carry out some mischief. She is formidable, but fear not. Fight with wisdom and justice, and you shall prevail.
How
We
do
shall
you
grant you a
fight
few
with
spells
justice?
in case you encounter any difficulty.
Thank you.
Enemy sighted. Invalid target.
Saxo, Denorum.
Your wizard is under attack.
So, those are the guys sitting on
Must be a
lotus.
scout for Syrinx. Good job finishing it off. If Syrinx is here, I will need to teach you a few more things. We will need a few souls to do much of anything. I think I see some up ahead. Follow me.
Well, I've already seen them, so I'll just go ahead if you don't mind. So, I assume someone died horribly here since it was like a circle of souls. Is that a fair assumption to make?
Ah, here we go. A few lost souls for you to gather. You need souls to summon creatures. Most creatures require a single soul, but the more powerful ones use more.
So, like, we're gonna end up with a guy with 4 souls on him? How does that... Like, do the souls merge then?
These souls are blue, which means they are pure and ready for your use. Blue souls may be collected simply by touching them.
Ah, color-coded for my convenience.
Now that you have a few souls, we need to summon some creatures. The first type of creature we will need is a mana whore. Open the spell tab on the left and cast the Summon Mana Whore spell by left-clicking on it.
So, cogs, sacks, and whores. This game is filled with some interesting things.
Denorum, Iliel, Thorn.
Good. This little guy is called a mana whore, as you may have guessed. He is not much of a fighter, but he is probably your most important creature. He channels mana from your manaliths to an area around him. Although a single mana whore is a much weaker source of mana than a manalith, you can summon several to make up for their lack of power. Don't get carried away, though. A soul used for a mana whore could be used for a fighting creature instead. Try summoning another mana whore and a few other creatures to defend yourself with. Notice that when you summon a creature, it is automatically added to your selection.
Mastadok, Vermithrax. Domine, Kinketsu, Domine. Garbe, Ferox.
You are low on mana.
Rock. Klaatu, Rock, Rose.
Enemy sighted. Someone is attacking your building is under attack. You could run back there and deal with it, but the teleport spell is a better way to go. The teleport spell can teleport you and your surrounding creatures to a building that you control. Open up the spell tab that contains your structures. Select the teleport spell from the list by clicking on it. Now your cursor is a targeting icon. Place the icon over the manalith or its icon on the minimap and left-click. Invalid target. This will teleport you there.
Krixa, Bethud, Rock, Krixa, Kaza, Pejorative, Vas,
And boom.
Another victory. Soon we will have no more enemies left, eh, wizard? Notice that the soul of the dead locust is red. That means that it is impure and must be cleansed by a ritual before we can use it. Walk over towards the dead locust, then open your spell tab that has to do with structures. Left-click on the icon marked Convert in the spell list. Target the locust soul and left-click.
DM, Thorn, Krixa, Nostro, Dothtal, Kinketsu, Vas.
This will summon one of those sack doctors we saw earlier. He is a spirit servant of the gods who will cleanse the soul, resurrect the creature, and take it to your altar to be offered to your god. Once the ceremony at your altar is complete, and your god accepts the soul, it will be transferred directly to you.
I'm trying to get a good look at this guy. What the hell is he? Like, is it a mouth on top of his head? What?
Remember what I said earlier about sack doctors? They are notoriously shy when it comes to fighting. If they take enough damage, they will drop whatever they are doing and flee the battle. Now, when you feel up to the task, let's go find Syrinx and defeat her.
Okay. So, yeah. This is different.
Carbe, Rock, Elorum, Klaatu, Rock, Vas.
And then he stabs it, the elephant starts shaking his booty and... Oh, is he a Cyclops? Does he have a face on his stomach?
Your wizard is under attack.
Oh hey, Scythe.
Your creatures are under attack. Your creatures are dying. Your wizard is under attack.
Kaboom.
All is going well, but do not think Syrinx will fall easily. She is a wizard, much the same as you. That means she won't stay dead. Instead of just killing her, we need to banish her by finding and desecrating her altar.
Nostro, Vas, Gaza, Kinketsu, Nostro, Kinketsu, Domine.
So, by killing enemies, I add Canaan souls and thus gain a larger force.
You are low on mana.
That is a pretty heavy spell. Still. So that's an interesting way to manage resources.
Ferox, Kalpa, Boris.
You are low on mana.
Elio,
Probably also means there's a limit to how many creatures like can be on a map. Defined by how many souls you and your enemy start with. That could lead to some interesting scenarios. Well, obviously she doesn't want it. Or he. What gender was that enemy? Was it again?
Kinketsu, Nikto, Animus, Ferox, Carbe, Thorn, Gaza, Sanct, Kalpa, Domine.
Well,
Now that we have a manolith in a forward area that we control, we need to make sure that we keep it under our control. To provide us with some extra defense, we can use the Guardian spell. Move a creature near the manolith and stand near the creature. Now open up your structure spellbook. Left-click on the Guardian spell and target the creature. Invalid target. You see that red energy beam? That links the creature to the structure. He will absorb any damage that the structure takes. In turn, he will feed off of the energy of the structure and will gain increased statistics. Of course, he is now linked to the structure and cannot move very far away from it. This is a very powerful spell, and when used properly, it can turn the tide of battle.
Okay, interesting.
Iliel, Barata, Thorn, Wodan, Dothdel, Denorum, Diem. Was, Rock, Flam, Pejorative, Bovis, Dothdel.
Wait, he's converting both at the same time. Interesting. That must be because both corpses came from the same source. Both souls came from the same source. What's that? Anyway.
Icto, Dothdel, Nostro. Wodan, Krixa. Iliel, Sankt Dothdel.
Well, let's move on. Getting a pretty big army here. Oh, I see something. Purplish fire. That'll be interesting.
Enemy sighted. Your creatures are under attack.
So she's some sort of snake lady.
Genketsu, Nikto, Was. Elorum, Rock, Flam, Ferox, Farmithrax.
Enemy sighted.
Saxo.
How annoying.
Flam, Bethard, Thorn.
Enemy sighted.
Elorum, Genketsu, Ferox, Flam.
Well, let's deny them
Denorum,
this source of mana then.
Carpe, Thorn, Bethard, Flam, Sanct Nostro, Ferox, Domine, Rock, Clatu, Elorum, Domine.
That's bound to help things, make things turn to our best.
Ferox, Sanct Animus.
Your wizard is under attack. Ah, there's Cyrix's altar. To put her out of the game, approach the altar and cast the Desecrate spell on one of your nearby creatures. This will sacrifice the targeted creature on the enemy altar.
Okay. Well, thanks for serving us. You die now.
Barata, Dothdel, Ferox, Kazan, Clatu, Animus, Domine, Sanct Animus. Pejorative.
Enemy sighted.
Shit, Bellamy, what hit?
As the ritual progresses, it will damage Cyrix. If she dies while the ritual is in effect, her altar will be destroyed and she will be banished from this place.
Why was that turned off now? How long have I not been recording? Yes. Well, in any case, this has been Eric Copeland. It's been Let's Play Sacrifice Blind, and I'm mystified, but well, it seems interesting so far. So see you around.